Carol Ann fought with trying to maintain a normal life for years, but she knew nothing about her life was normal. To the outside world, growing up in her neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, poor and black, was a disadvantage. Adding to her obstacles, Carol Ann's hearing disorder only heightened the insensitivity of the neighborhood kids and the community at large. Carol Ann dreamed of days with greener pastures and acceptance. Unfortunately, she could never see herself clearly within those dreams. She'd always see the lily white faces that were able to escape the hardships of her poverty stricken pain. She often wondered if she would ever be able to live a life that would surpass her deepest ambition, the simplicity of being able to hear the beauty of the world around her. Surrounded with such perverse negative thoughts and attitudes, she wondered if she would regret her passion and desire for wanting to hear, because that dream could not filter out the sounds of the world's cruelties. 14-year-old Carol Ann grew up constantly feeling poorer than everyone else. The struggle to fit in daily, the struggle to fit in, daily thoughts of am I good enough, and constant rigor of taking care of her two younger siblings were enough to drive her to the edge of insanity. She spent most of her days bearing the responsibilities of an adult. Being the eldest in the house now meant she had to check her emotions and feelings at the door, although, at times, she almost relished the idea of actually being an adult, as crazy as it sounded. Her life shifted from being a child to being a responsible caretaker without her permission. Getting up at 5 o'clock every morning during the school week took its toll on her. She fought through her own tiredness to take care of her siblings. Ironing, cooking, and cleaning were just some of the chores she inherited. Her biggest challenge, and the most important hurdle she had to overcome, was teaching her siblings how to sign. Communication was a commodity. Her thoughts, dreams, ambitions, and ideas were never fully expressed, especially when divulging them to her 5 and 10-year-old siblings. They seemed to lose all meaning and passion. In many ways, Carol Ann felt her life was doomed. Suddenly, a menacing knock on the door of apartment 3C gave way to the murmur of a high-pitched voice churning inside the apartment. "Who is it?" asked Carol Ann. There had not been a knock like that on their door in a long time. Again, the loud and forceful sound demanded immediate attention. Titus, the 5-year-old, ran into the kitchen to alert his eldest sister of the thumping. "Hold on, just a minute," said Carol Ann in a meek voice. The knock did not wait. The bold sound hammered even louder, and this time a voice behind it rallied. "Hey, Carol Ann, let me in! Let me in now! Come on, Cian, it's me, your brother Noah." Carol Ann had been in the kitchen cleaning up from their meal. Always cautious, she thought, I may not have enough time to clean up and run if needed. She had to make sure she had everything in order, neat and tidy, just in case. As she approached the door, Carol Ann felt the vibrations of the knocking, and her muffled tone requested, "Can you move back so I can see your face?" Carol Ann signed to her younger siblings to get into the other room. She trusted absolutely no one when it came to her siblings and their safety. She was not in the business of preparing for a fight with social workers and the court to fend off foster care placement for her sister and brother. Every move Carol Ann made had to be strategic. This was something she signed to her youngest siblings all the time. The voice and hammering exploded against the metal apartment door again. Noah stepped back, signing from the hallway outside the minuscule peephole in the door. "Hello, Carol Ann Marie. It's your brother. Open up, chickenhead. Come on. Stop playing." Carol Ann was reminded of the challenge her hearing loss posed as she focused on the muffled conversation Noah shared through the door. She thought back to an incident in school where she had to explain her deafness during a lesson. Carol Ann was unable to hear clearly sometimes, which was why she usually sat up front in the class. Her hearing deficit varied depending on location and certain conditions. Carol Ann was embarrassed one day because she came in late to class, sat in the back, and the teacher called her out for not paying attention during the lesson. During the same class lesson, she shared her disorder with the teacher and her classmates. She explained how her hearing came and went, and how some days were better than others. Hearing Noah's voice and seeing his face, Carol Ann knew it was okay to open the door. Carol Ann's face lit up with joy. She unlatched the slide lock as well as the chain lock, twisted the doorknob, and flung open the door with newfound urgency. No, no! You finally come back, just like you said! My brother! Our brother has come home to rescue us! Noah had been away from his family for some time now. He had seen some hard times and promised himself that he would do things differently after he was kicked out of his parents' house. The Reasonz were a tight-knit family, but the family's rules and discipline were too much for a budding young adult to deal with. Noah loved the streets a bit too much to survive living under the control of his mother and father's rules. Noah's parents believed in the code, if you are old enough to show your backside, then you must slide. Noah and his dad bumped heads often when it came to following the rules of the home. Mom wanted to support her eldest, but she knew he was going in a different direction than what they wanted and needed from him. Noah was kicked out of the house before he reached his 18th birthday. He wanted to be a man, so he was treated as such. While out in the streets, he had some run-ins with what his mom would describe as ruffians and street business. Noah became everything his parents despised. 1 week turned into a month turned into a year. Noah had been on his own now for over a year, and he was acclimated to the street persona that he enjoyed watching on videos and television. In hanging out with the people he ran with, he got caught up and charged with mischief misdemeanors. His more serious charges led him to the title of felon. Wanted by the law for a couple of years, Noah found himself running cautiously toward home every chance he had, without thinking or caring about how it might affect his family. During every available pit stop, Noah thought through his movements as if playing chess. He had to. His hide was on the line. He risked everything he had back in 2014. This was his fresh start. Or so he thought. Running was not part of the plan, but as the adage goes, plans change. What gave Noah solace was Kim. She was what his mom always told him to look for in a lady. Kim was special, but he never gave her, as his girl, the respect he should have, especially considering all the time she'd saved him from sticky situations. Noah thought of Kim as his savior, but took advantage of who she was and what she meant to him. Kim kept him still, emotionally and physically, but she was not enough for him. To Noah, Kim could not convert his greedy thoughts and tendencies. Kim used to tell him all the time that his thinking was backwards. Noah paused his thoughts momentarily, started breathing heavily, and nearly turned away from his goal, seeing his siblings. I have to shake myself of these thoughts, he whispered to himself. I can never go back there. I can't let Kim see me, especially looking like this. Leaving a lifetime of experience behind could make a man change. Or so he thought. Nope. Not Noah Reasonz. He was not that guy. Not that guy at all. And many agreed. But it turned out, while contemplating his next move, Noah could not get Kim out of his head. She was the source he needed. At one point, Kim was Noah's only voice of reason. Thinking aloud, Noah did something he told himself he would never do again. He pulled out his phone and began dialing a number. The phone rang for what seemed like an eternity. Just as he was ready to hit the red hang-up button, a shaky, uncertain, yet familiar voice said hello. He remained still, imagining what could be, and allowed the call to go through. He closed his eyes and breathed slowly. To what do I owe this surprise, Mr. Reasonz? You have a lot of nerve, man. You're calling now at this time? You must be in a bind. Listen, Kim, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. You didn't deserve that treatment or any of that nonsense. That's not how I was raised. I apologize for the way it all went down. I made so many mistakes. I had to head back home, but I want to square stuff up with you. I want to meet up to clear the air. What do you think? You have a lot of explaining to do? I'm worth more than you gave me. You are a piece of... Please, Kim, I know. I know. I feel like what you think, I am all of that. Just allow me to explain myself and make things up to you. I'll try my best to make things better between us this time. I promise. Please, give me at least an hour of your time. I have something I need to give you. Would it be possible to meet up at our old spot, Tiffany's coffee shop? I'll explain everything then, I promise. You promised things before, too, but I'm sure you don't remember. Jeez, I must be a sorry sap. Okay, let's meet up there at 11:30 on Friday morning. Listen, Noah, do not, I repeat, do not stand me up. I won't. I got you, boo. Thank you so much. Oh, one more thing, Kim. I dropped something off in that stash spot we used to use. It's a red velvet bag. It's locked. Please be sure to pick that up and hide it. I'll explain that along with everything else when we meet. Thanks, my love. By the way, I really do love you. I never lied about that. I'll see you at 11:30. Sharp.